Earlier this year, I talked about something called automatic start-stop. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a feature that they're putting in new cars that shuts off your engine whenever you come to a complete stop. For example, you get to a red light, your engine shuts off. You get to a stop sign, if you make a complete stop, your engine shuts off. If you pull out into the middle of an intersection waiting to make your left turn, your engine shuts off. It automatically turns back on whenever you move your foot from the brake to the gas, but that's not fast enough. Now, some manufacturers include a button you can push to turn the system off, but it defaults back to on every time you restart your car. So every time you start your car, you have to push this button. And for some car owners, that's not good enough either. So I found a way that you can, I'll put a link to the video in the description. So if you want more details on the way that I found to get around this system. But the basics is you go under the hood and there's a little wire that you can unplug. And when you do, your car's automatic start-stop doesn't work anymore. Now, what else doesn't work anymore, I have no idea. It's not a perfect way to solve this problem, but it is the easiest and cheapest. Now, there are those who would say that unplugging a random wire from your car's very complicated and sensitive electrical system might have unexpected consequences.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And they might be right. It's not a perfect solution. But after this, I went online, I scoured the internet trying to find a better way to eliminate the automatic start-stop. And I think I may have found something. And I'll talk more about that in just a moment. Stay tuned. So I scoured the internet to try to find some way to eliminate this start-stop system in my car, but without changing the car, without just disconnecting wires and leaving them disconnected. And of course I found all the usual gimmicks, but I also came across a company called Auto Stop Eliminator. Their website is www.autostopeliminator.com, and they claim to have a device that plugs into the dashboard, like behind where the switch is located on the dashboard. There's a device that plugs in there and sort of bypasses that switch and then plugs in while having its own little module on there that what they claim it does is it remembers however you left the button when you were last driving, when you turn the engine off. And so when you turn the engine back on, it just puts that button exactly in the same place it was when you left it, which sounds great. That way, if you like the system, maybe you have two people driving the car, one person likes it and one person doesn't, they can both be happy. And at the same time, it doesn't affect your car's electrical system. It doesn't change your car. So it's not going to affect your warranty or anything like that. So that sounds really good. It costs $100.
Shut up and take my money.
While they had a start-stop eliminator for Chrysler Pacifica, it was only for the 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. They didn't seem to have one available for the 2019. So I emailed the company and got a response back, and the guy said that they are working on it and they hope to have one soon. So I thanked him, but I assumed I was never going to hear from him again. Lo and behold, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I got an email saying that they have it now. I immediately bought one. I happily paid my $100. And 3 days later, they sent me this. Let's open it up, see what's inside. All right, let's see, what do we have here? All right, let's get this box open. Sure, get this thing open. Okay, sealed pretty good. All right. So we got here something in bubble wrap. We got a piece of paper. I imagine this is the invoice. Yeah, this is the 2018 to 2020 Chrysler Pacifica Auto Stop Eliminator. Its model number is A as in Apple, E as in Edward, 018. So if you have the same car I have, or 2018 or 2020, then that's the model number you need. All right, let's get in this thing here. What do we got? Saving the bubble wrap in case this thing does not work, and I will be shipping it back. All right, got a little gizmo here. Pretty nice. Let's see what that looks like. And the gizmo comes with a bunch of zip ties. Cool. And a little card. Auto Stop Eliminator, visit our website, blah, blah, blah. Take control of your vehicle's auto start system. This device installs inline between the vehicle's gateway module and the wiring harness. Once installed, the vehicle will remember when auto start-stop is turned off and restore the setting automatically. So that sounds like exactly what we want. All right, and the gizmo is a funny little feller. I believe when we unplug the wire going to the button in the dash, then this end will go in there instead, and then this goes into the dash, or vice versa. But it looks like a pretty simple device, and it looks somewhat foolproof to me, but I accept that as a challenge. Let's go install this in the car. Okay, so very conveniently, the company has put out a video on YouTube showing how to install this thing. The 2017 Chrysler Pacifica is very different. It's just a module that you basically plug in under the dashboard. But this one, mine is 2019, and I'm guessing also the 2018 and the 2020 Chrysler Pacifica is a little different, because now you have to install this doohickey inside here. And so we need to get this whole panel off of there. And in their video, and I will link their video in the description as well, because they did a lot better job explaining this than I'm about to. So I encourage you to watch their video. If you get this thing and you want to install it, please watch their video, because like I said, they do a better job of explaining this than I will. So in their video, they put some blue painter's tape around here to protect this thing when you pry this up. And I want to protect my car, so I'm going to do that exact same thing.
We begin the installation by protecting the perimeter of the integrated center stack with painter's tape.
Okay, I think that's good enough. Now we have to pry this thing up, and they recommend using something wide so it distributes the pressure, makes it less likely to do some damage. I think also something plastic would be better, but all I could find was this metal scraper thing. So I'm going to try it with that. Let's see if it works. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I got it. Basically, I jammed this thing way deep in there.
That's what she said?
You gotta pry it kind of hard.
That's what she said.
But it does eventually pop out. And so, I haven't taken it off yet, so you're seeing it for the first time. This is the first time I've ever taken this off of my car. And hopefully this lasts, because that was annoying. I even scratched it a little bit over here. Pretty bummed about that, but like I said, if I can get this auto start thing to stop working, it'll be worth it. So that is pretty thick.
And in the future, if I want to say something funny or witty or do an impression, I will no longer ever do any of those things.
Now you can see over here, all these little scratches are my attempt to pry this, but let me show you this. In case you want to do this, this is important. Here you can see where all the different tabs are that we're holding it in place. So now you know exactly where to pry. So you're not prying like, hold on, let me. Okay, we got 3 things plugged in here. So yeah, you don't want to be prying here when you've got the tab here. You want to pry at the tabs, and that's what pulls them out. And there's nothing holding them in. If you could just pull this thing out, go for it. But there you have it. That's what we're looking at. In the video, there's something called a security module, and that's way up in here.
Locate the security gateway module.
It's kind of tight though.
For better access, remove the 3 7mm screws holding the module.
Okay, that's 2. And the third one, third one's tough. I gotta use my fingertips to turn this screwdriver. And hope I'm able to get these things back in there. Okay, one screw. Two screws. Three screws. All right, and here's our okay. Well, I thought that when I took those screws out, this module, this security module, will be easier to reach, and it is, I guess. Yeah, you just gotta turn it around. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's see here. So I got the command module, it's still plugged in, and right there are the 2 plugs. So at least one of those is about to become unplugged and replaced by one of these. Okay. Finally. All right, there is
Be sure to hold
that little guy.
connector before attempting to disconnect.
We're gonna plug this thing into
Use a
that.
small flat screwdriver to assist with the removal. Connect the vehicle harness to the AutoStop Eliminator.
All right, at least that part was easy.
The AutoStop
And then,
Eliminator
so
to
basically
the
we've
security
extended it now.
module.
And we're gonna plug this little guy back into here.
Tuck the device harness in the area below the gateway module, then reinstall the 3
see that?
7mm screws.
But that goes right in there. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And to make this a little bit neater, obviously we're gonna screw this back into place. But then we've got this extra little bit, and they recommend we use those zip ties that came with it to zip tie that down.
The security gateway module as shown. Bending the
And that is
zip tie
exactly
into a U
what we're
shape
gonna do.
help with the routing of the tie. It may also be helpful to connect.
All right, let me get this screwed in.
Prior to positioning the AutoStop Eliminator module.
Okay, so I've got the security module back in place. Here's the Auto Stop Eliminator doohickey. We've got this little thing that they say we should zip tie to this thing, and so let's do that. All right, and they say we should clip the ends off.
To a U shape may help with
That's
routing
fine.
of the tie. It may also be helpful to connect the ends of the
And
zipper
there we go.
prior to positioning the auto
So
stop
that
eliminator module.
Auto Stop Eliminator is installed. So they say to take this painter's tape off before you put this thing back on, which makes a lot of sense to me. They didn't do it in the video, but that's actually cool because then it shows you why you should take the painter's tape off first. And the reason being is because the painter's tape will tear and still be stuck up underneath this thing. So get it off now while you can. All right, and then we're going to stuff this back into place.
Once Auto Start Stop is turned off, the device will remember.
Well, it's a hell of a lot easier getting it in there than getting it out. All right, but moment of truth. Let's see if this thing works.
Next.
All right, let's start the car. Hey, at least the car still starts. Might have to do a better test later. But anyway, let's shut this off. Turn it on again. So it's still where I left it. And that's what it's supposed to do. If I leave it on, it should be on when I restart the car. Let's turn it off. So now it's off. And I'm going to shut the car off. I'm gonna open the door to make sure everything's shut down. All right, now let's start the car again. And that light should be, there it goes. I'm gonna do a better real world test soon, but for an initial test, it seems to be doing as advertised. It stays in whatever position I leave it. So when I turn the engine back on again, it's wherever it was when I turned the engine off. So far, it's seeming like it's working.
3 days later.
Okay, so it's been a few days since I've installed the Auto Stop Eliminator, or the Auto Stop Eliminator, and I have to say it has been working flawlessly so far, and I am absolutely loving it. Totally worth it, and at this point I can highly recommend it. If you hate Auto Stop as much as I do, give Auto Stop Eliminator a try. Now the only thing I have left to do is to unlearn this idea that my car is going to keep shutting off every time I stop. It's weird. I come to a stop sign now expecting it to shut off, and it doesn't. It's like driving a normal car again. It's pretty awesome. If you're watching this video a year from now, check down in the description. I'll give you some thoughts on what it's been like over the past year. Whether I've had any problems with it or if it keeps working. If I have any issues at all, I'm going to put that in the description below. So that's it for now. I'm going to get ready to go on another road trip. Thanks for watching. And 3 days later, okay, see? Need to be a little bit faster. And 3 days later, they sent me this. 3 days later, 3 days later, 3 days later, and 3 days later, they sent me nothing at all. They sent it to the wrong address. What are you gonna do?